गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय, नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार शिल भक्ति नारायण गोसाई महाराज शिल गुरु जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार शिल भक्ति वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार शिल भक्ति स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार शिल भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभगवत शिल गोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनु गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल पददास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई विभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाति गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्यामा कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री भक्ति रसमृत सिंधु की जय। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन की जय। श्री भक्ति स्वामी महाराज समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। Looks like my connection is not super stable. If it gets too bad, let me know. But yeah, so I really wanted to listen to Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu classes today, but I ended up getting on 3 hours of phone calls today, and I didn't manage to prepare for this. But I say that in every class. But something I just found out how to do is I can share this on my iPad. I can share the screen here so that you can see what I'm doing on my iPad. Like I can mirror my iPad screen. So I wanted to go over the whole Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu, but I'm going to draw it out on Procreate. Ever used Procreate? Yeah, second time. And so I'm still learning how to work it. But man, my internet's really unstable now, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, this is just going to be very quick though. Maybe like, I think 10-15 minutes I'll be finished. We'll see how long it takes. Dandavat Pranam Swarup Manjari and whoever else is watching there. So there's 2 people. All right, so quick time. All right, so let's see. Can you see this all right? Yeah, looks like it. Cool. Okay, so we know Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu. Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu is, well, the meaning of it is, rasa is too deep of a word. Like, this whole book is explaining what ras means. So there isn't really any English word you can explain ras with. But, like, we translate it as mellow, humor, flavor, juice, mood, feeling. We have all these different words, but none of them actually convey what ras means. And as you go deeper into Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu, you'll see that this ras is just, it's an ocean. That's why it's called the ocean of ras. But to even understand what ras means, you have to, this whole Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu is just explaining what ras is, what the ocean of ras is. And amrita means nectar. So this nectar ocean of bhakti ras, that's Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami. So let me try changing the background here. Background color. What should we make it? Let's make it dark blue. That's good, right? That's too purple. All right. So, Bhakti, let me get this iPad in a more comfortable position. Okay. So, Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu is divided into 4 parts. Let's get which brush should we use? I don't know any of these brushes are like. Let's try this one for fun. A dry brush. This is kind of fun. Okay. What color should it be? Let's make it blue. Okay, so, oh shoot. No, that brush doesn't work. Let's try a different brush. Old brush. It's too big. Sorry guys, 1 second. There. Okay, so just making it into 4 parts. Okay, there. It's kind of fun. So, there are 4 vibhags. Vibhags means, what do you say? 4 divisions. And the first division is the Eastern division. So let me get another pen here. Acrylic. Let's try acrylic. All right. So okay. So it's divided into the Eastern division, East, and it's just like, you know, the sun rises in the East, right? So we start with the East, and then it goes clockwise. So from East to South, and then to the West, and then to the North. All right, that's the sequence. One second. All right. And so just, yeah, so it goes in a clockwise way, like that. You know, that's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 4. All right, so these are the different sections of Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu. And then in each of these, there are waves. So in this first section, in the Eastern section, and this Eastern section is, it's called Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed. And these are all the main types of, well, this section is divided in, this section has 4 waves in it. And so, hey, okay, there. Okay, so let's make some waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I hope this isn't super boring. Okay, so the first wave is Samanya Bhakti. Samanya Bhakti. And this is just, this is, this pen doesn't work. This is just a general overview of, let me rewrite that. Okay, so the first wave is Samanya Bhakti, and it's a general overview of what is Bhakti, like just the main definition. Samanya Bhakti. All right, it's general, what do you say? General explanation of bhakti. And then next section is sadhan bhakti. So and this is where it gets into all the 64 limbs of bhakti. And in this Samanya Bhakti section, this is what we are, this is what we're going through right now. When the definition anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dunavatam, and then all those 6 characteristics that we just went through. So that's all in Samanya Bhakti. And now the next section is Sadhan Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti. Sorry, my writing's messy. And then, so that's the second wave. And then the third wave is Bhav Bhakti. Bhav Bhakti. And then the fourth wave is, what is it? It is Prem Bhakti. Prem Bhakti. Eastern division, called the Purva Vibhag. What do you call that? Purva Vibhag. Vibhag. Okay? And actually, what's the title of this? It's Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed. Where should I write that? Oh man, there isn't any room. Anyways, I'll write that afterwards. Southern division is this is called Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. So this is the general symptoms of ras. And I found something in Dhammarashtakam. Okay. Rubanji, I like your comment there. Looks like a whirlpool. Yeah, that's what it is, kind of like that. Getting sucked into the bhakti ras. So now in this section, actually first let me draw this and then I'll explain what it is. Let me make this go sideways. All right. These waves are going to be different colors. I still don't know how to use this program, as you can tell, so very well. But, okay, so this is divided, the southern side is divided into 5 parts. So let's do the first one. Oops. 1, 2, 3, okay, let's just do a 5th one right here. Whatever, you get the point. All right. And so in this section, it starts off with, so these are Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. This has all the different ingredients which create ras in a general way. And so what are those different ingredients? The first one is vibhav. Vibhav. And we'll get into the meanings of all these soon. I'll read you a part. Then anubhav. My handwriting is weird with this. Anyways, you can read it, right? Anubhav. Then satvika bhav. Satvika bhav. And then what's next is, what's after Satvika Bhav is Vyabhichari Bhav. vyabhichari bhav. Alright, and then finally, at last, it's the most important one. It is the sthai bhav. Sthai bhav. So sthai bhav is your permanent relationship with Krishna. It's and it's divided into 5. There's Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuras. So now I'm going to go to the explanation of all these vibhav, anubhav, satvik bhav, vyabhichari bhav, sthai bhav, and how these all combine together to create a ras. This is explained by my Gurudev in Damodarashtakam. So let's see. With great difficulty, Kanhaya, who was lying on his belly, moved little by little to the edge of his bed and then got down. Rubbing his eyes and crying, he somehow made it to where his mother was churning, tottering like an intoxicated elephant along the way. He caught hold of the churning rod and stopped it from twirling. Mother Yashoda's absorption broke. Seeing her darling son at her side, she immediately sat him on her lap and began breastfeeding him. Just by seeing her dear Krishna, her limbs became decorated by all the Ashta Sattvika Bhavs, the 8 types of bodily transformations arising from ecstatic love of God. Furthermore, the special emotion of motherly affection manifested. Namely, milk began to from her breasts. So that's like the Navam Satvik Bhav, even though it's not officially one of the 8 types of bodily transformations, but I think this could be called a bodily transformation, milk flowing from the breast. That's just unique to Vatsalya Ras. Anyways, here's the overview. Let me hide this. All right, so according to Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu, baby Krishna is the Vishaya Alambana of Vatsalya Ras. That is, he is the object upon which motherly love depends. His mother Yashoda is the Ashraya Alambana, or the reservoir of love for him. And baby Krishna's gorgeous face is the Udipana, or the stimulus that rouses love. And Mother Yashoda's tears, the standing on end of her bodily hairs, the flowing of milk from her breasts, and so on, are the Sattvika Bhavs, or transformations of ecstasy in her body. All right, so all those 3 things, the Vishaya Lambana, which is baby, the object, the baby Krishna, and then the Ashraya Lambana, which is the reservoir of love for him, Mother Yashoda, and the Udipan, which stimulates, which rouses the feelings. Those 3 things altogether is called Vibhav. That's the first one right here, Vibhav. That's the first of the 5 waves in the Dakshin Vibhav, the southern division. So, so all these ingredients of love, of ras, namely Vibhav, which is Vishaya Lambana, Ashraya Lambana, and Udipan, which we just read about, and then Anubhav, which is deep emotions that are realized through outward expressions on the body, and so forth, then combined with Mother Yashoda's own sthai bhav, namely Vatsalya Rati, and began to make her relish Vatsalya Ras. So, it doesn't get into Vyabhichari Bhavs here, does it? I think there's 33 Vyabhichari Bhavs. Those are all external symptoms. I can't remember. Anyways, let's see. So there's Vibhav, Anubhav, which are different ecstatic expressions, then Satvik Bhav, which are of 8 kinds, then Vyabhichari Bhav, 33 kinds of Vyabhichari Bhavs. Anyways, and then Sthai Bhav. We'll get into these in detail once we make it to the southern division. Now we come to the western division. I'll make it go this way. Oh man, I'm left-handed, so it's hard for me to. Let me just make the waves go this direction right now, and then I'll flip it around. Each wave's a little... Okay, so this is 2, 3, 4, whatever. I didn't draw this right. Anyways, it's okay. So, now, oh yeah, and this southern division is called the Dakshin Vibhag. Dakshin is how you say southern. Let me make this yellow. Dakshin Vibhav. And the name of this chapter is Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. Where should I write that? I'm going to write the title over here on the side here. What color should I? I'll make it red so it's very different. Enough. Okay, so the first section is called Bhagavad Bhakti Bhed. So these are the varieties, the different divisions of devotional service, which is sadhan bhakti. Oh shoot, my mic fell down. Which is general overview of what bhakti is, anyabhilashita shunyam, and then sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prem bhakti. Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras. Okay, now we come to the Western division, which is Paschim Vibhag. And this section is called Mukhya Bhakti Ras. So it goes more into detail into what the sthai bhavs are, which are Mukhya means main, the primary. Mukhya means primary, and Bhakti Ras. So I guess I should just write that here, huh? Oh, God. This is not a very well planned out picture, but okay. Mukhya Bhakti Ras. All right. So this is divided into... This is the most messy picture I've ever made. Let's get that green color. Maybe more dark is better, huh? Okay, so this begins with what is it? Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhurras. And actually, Srila Rupa Goswami gives different names for these, but I forgot what they were. Anyways, Shantaras, I think is called... So it's... Actually, I'll do it from down up. We'll put Shantaras at the bottom. So, Shantaras... And I think you all know what these are, so I don't need to explain these. But is it long A? I think so. Shantaras, Dasyaras, then Sakyaras, then Vatsalyaras, Let me try to remember what the names are. This Dasyaras, Srila Rupa Goswami calls Pritaras. That's what it was, is Pritaras. But Sakyaras, I can't remember. I think it was called Preoras or something like that. let's see, I think this is called Prita Ras. Yeah, and Sakya Ras is called, I think, Preyo Ras. But I'm just speaking from memory here. Then next is Vatsalya Ras. And finally, the topmost Ras. Oh, and Srila Rupa Goswami calls, anyways, Madhurya. Oops. Madhurya Ras. Long A. And actually, Srila Rupa Goswami, he calls Vatsalya Ras, he just calls it Vatsal Ras. Not Vatsalya. Vatsal Ras. And Madhurya Ras, he calls just Madhur Ras. Madhur Ras. Alright, so that's the Sthai Bhav section. Now, finally, we come to the Uttar Vibhag. Uttar Vibhag. So, first is Purva, east. Second is Dakshina, which means south. Then Pashchima Vibhag, which is west. And then finally Uttar, which is north. Uttar Vibhag. This is the Gona Bhakti Ras. These are the secondary okay. Gona Bhakti Ras. Alright, and so, oops. Shoot. There, okay. What am I doing? Alright, so this has 8 waves in it. So the Mukhya Bhakti Ras, the primary, what is it? The primary rasas are Shantaras, Tasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuras. Those are the Mukhya, the primary rasas. But then the Gona rasas, these nourish the feelings of all this Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. They're not like the rasas, they enhance these rasas. And so they're called secondary, Gona Bhakti. And so there are 7 kinds of Gona Bhakti rasas. Plus there's an extra thing at the end, which isn't one of the Gona rasas. But we'll get into that. Let me make some waves here. Is this too slow and boring? Let me check the comments. Well, it looks like 4 of you managed to stick around, so 5 of you. I'll look at the comments better later. I'm going to do this first. Okay, I need to make these small. I'm just going to make lines. 1, 2, 3, no, let me redo this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whatever, it's not perfect, but okay. So these are, the first Gona Ras is Hasya Ras, and that's laughter. Hasya Ras. Then the next one is, and I'll write the English after. The next one is Adbhuta Ras. Oops, that wasn't. I don't normally write this messy. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit strange, so I have to change the setting or something. Then the next is Vira Ras, chivalry. Vira Ras. And then the next is Karuna Ras. Karuna Bhakti Ras. Sorry. Hasya Bhakti Ras, Adbhut Bhakti Ras, Vira Bhakti Ras, and now Karuna Bhakti Ras. Karuna. I'm just going to write Karuna Ras though, even though I should write Karuna Bhakti Ras. There's just not enough space. And then Rodra Ras. Rodra Bhakti Ras. This one's anger. Rodra Ras. And then Bhayanaka, which is dread. Bhayanaka Ras. Then finally, the seventh one is Vibhatsa, which means, doesn't Vibhatsa mean like disgust or ghastliness, I think. Vibhatsa Ras. And then the eighth wave here isn't actually one of the Gona rasas, but it's just a section here. And I've heard it explained in different ways, but the one name is Maitra Vairastiti. And so this is how all the different how these different rasas relate with each other. Maitri means friendship, right? Maitri, and then Vaira means enmity, doesn't it? It's Vaira Maitri. Stiti. Stiti is like the situation. Stiti. So this is like the friendship and enmity between the rasas, or just how they're compatible and incompatible, basically. And then I saw in some versions of Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu, there's a ninth wave, which says Rasabhas, but I didn't see that in all the editions, so I'm not sure if that's like somebody added that in later on or what. But let me just write this in English. So hasya is laughter. Adbhuta is wonder, astonishment. Vira is chivalry. How do you spell chivalry? Compassion. Rodras is anger. Bhayanakaras is dread. Like when Krishna jumped on Kaya, oh my God, dread. Then Vibhatsaras is disgust. I don't know which, ghastliness. I don't know what examples Srila Rupa Goswami gives for that, ghastliness. And then Vaira, so friendship. Compatible and incompatible, whatever. Doesn't. This is just very basic overview. But let me put this back, right? So, oh, and let me write these names here. So, Pashchim. Hey, how come it's not going bright? Oh, it's because I have a dark color. Pashchim. Vibhag, sorry. And then Uttar Vibhag. I'll just make it like this. Uttar Vibhag. Right? I wish I could just... This is messy, but I'm just going to write over this. Purva Vibhag. Okay. so there you got it. There's the Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu overview. Should change this. I'm just going to make this stand out. East. Okay, there you got it. South, west, and north. All right, so east is Purva, south is Dakshin, west is Pashchim, and north is Uttar. And so the eastern division is Bhagavad Bhakti Ras, which is divided into Samanya Bhakti, just a general explanation of what Bhakti is. Then there's Saran Bhakti, so we'll go through the 64 limbs. Then Bhav Bhakti and Prem Bhakti. And then finally, that's the eastern direction. Then Dakshin Vibhav is all the basic overview of the different kinds of Bhagavad Bhakti Ras, Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Ras, which are all these different ingredients. When you mix them all together, then a ras comes out. That's Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvika Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, Sthai Bhav. Then the Pashchim Vibhag, the western section, is these Sthai Bhavs, Shantaras, Dasyaras, Ras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. And then finally, Uttar Vibhag is the Gona Bhakti Rasas, the secondary Bhakti Rasas, which is laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, dread, ghastliness, and then how all these different relationships, all these different rasas, how they relate with each other and how they clash with each other. So this is what we'll be getting into. Yeah. All right. Let me just. I hope that wasn't too boring watching me draw all that. I can send this messy picture to you if you want it. Maybe I'll post it in our Srimad Bhagavatam group on WhatsApp. But okay, I'm just looking at the comments now. Although they're not loading. Oh, cool. Jagopal's ready to meet. Okay. Your question here. All these waves are in order of time, right? The first one. Yeah, they're in order of. I don't actually understand what you mean there, though. Okay, yes, those aren't. Yeah. Okay, you already answered your question. They aren't necessarily in order. You're talking about the Dakshin Vibhag, right? Did I write Vibhav? I meant to write Vibhag. Anyhow, yeah, they just all mix together at once. It's not like the stages or something like that. And you're confused about Ashray Alambana? So Ashray Alambana, Vibhav is the Vishay Alambana, which is the object, and Ashray Alambana is the abode of that love. And so when the object of the love and the abode of love, when they meet each other, and then they're stimulated by the Udipan arises, which, with Mother Yashoda, when she saw Krishna, that was his smiling face. But sometimes it might be, actually I'm just guessing here, but there's, Radharani will see a tamal tree, and that will be the Udipan. And then she'll embrace the tamal tree, and that will, cause the rest. So that's Vibhav. I can't explain Anubhav and Sattvika Bhav and Vyabhichari Bhav well enough, because I've read it a few times, but I don't remember it actually. So we'll get there eventually. All right. All right. Just going through. Yes. Oh, yeah. He was pouting. That's right. All right. So that's all for now. And oh my God, that took 40 minutes. I was expecting this to be like 15 minutes. Sorry. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And we'll meet again tomorrow. And I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll start from the beginning. So now we have an overview of all the sections of, and so maybe tomorrow we can start with the Mangala Charan verse of Srila Rupa Goswami, which is so beautiful. There's two explanations. Yeah, the Mangala Charan verse is just amazing. And then we'll slowly make it back to where we are in Nectar of Devotion, and then we'll continue reading from Nectar of Devotion. So, all right, Dandavat Pranam. So I'll do a quick Jaidvani. Jai Shri Guru Garanga Gandharva Giri Dhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. I'm just going to do brief. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti-rasamrta-sindhu Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. And then Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Ekacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams. Bhakti-rasamrta-murti. How does it go? I forgot what the second line is. And then Kalita Lalita Shama Lalito. No, Kalita Shama Lalito Radha Prayan Vidur Jayati. Something like that. Anyways, we'll go over it. And also, this is my study session. So I'm not really reading beforehand so much and like preparing. We're all studying together here. I'm not a teacher of this. I'm totally like a student of some. I've never read Bhakti